Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim. I am coming to you with a continuation of my Sefer, Crossing the Narrow Bridge. Well, this is Rabbi Nachman's Sefer, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. So we are in chapter 2, and the first chapter was about the importance of taking the approach life in simplicity, with simplicity on mind. So now we will continue to read chapter 2, taking the approach to life with joy in mind. So let us begin. Chapter 2 is titled Joy. Serve God with joy. Psalms 100. Rabbi Nachman teaches, it is a great mitzvah to be happy always. Strengthen yourself to push aside all depression and sadness. Everyone has lots of problems, and the nature of man is to be attracted to sadness. To escape these difficulties, constantly bring joy into your life, even if you have to resort to silliness. Joy is the hardest of all levels to attain and maintain. When contemplating our daily pressures and workloads, this is very easy to understand. Happiness is not specified in Torah as a separate mitzvah. Yet, throughout the Talmud, Midrash, and Kabbalah, joy is given centrality in all areas of Judaism. The renowned Safed Kabbalist, the Ari, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, asserted that he attained his exalted spiritual level only because of the great joy with which he performed the mitzvot. Indeed, not many of the subjects discussed in Breslov literature received the detailed attention given to joy and happiness. Reb Avraham Chazan commented, if Rabbi Nachman taught that it's a great mitzvah to be happy always, then we must believe that there is what to be happy about. The importance of joy. One of the reasons we find ourselves distant from God is because we fail to concentrate on our goals. With Yeshuv, Hada'at, tranquility, a person can think clearly. However, this tranquility cannot be attained without joy. Like exile, depression leads one's mind astray, but joy is freedom. With joy shall you go out of the exile. With joy we can direct our minds, exercise the freedom to choose our direction, and prevent our thoughts from straying afar. But how do we find joy? We can cultivate joy and happiness by finding good qualities in ourselves. Even if we cannot find anything good in ourselves, we still have what to be happy about. I am a Jew. But is there really something to be happy about? Aren't our daily lives filled with sufficient cause for worry? How are we going to meet the mortgage payment? What did you say happened to the car? Who did you say you're bringing home for dinner? The list is endless. Rabbi Nachman teaches depression is the bite of the serpent. Just as a serpent strikes suddenly, so does depression. Suddenly it hits, and you're left wondering how you can ever be happy again. If only you had some room to breathe, you'd be happy. Not necessarily. My Rosh Hashiva used to say, people think that difficulties are unexpected in life. They're surprised when sadness comes. But even if a person were to live for 1,000 years, he would still have a long list of problems waiting for him. When one leaves, another is sure to follow on its heel. This is an axiom of life. Why then do we become shocked and upset when something unexpected happens to us? It is not unexpected. At least it shouldn't be. It always is this way. There is always something else. Something to bring us down to the depths of depression. Rabbi Nachman also taught that depression and inertia are synonymous. They lead to anger, to lack of tolerance, and are the main reason why a person fails to succeed. It's a cycle. Something unexpected happens and we get annoyed. The doldrums and depression, still mild, are on the horizon. We're already less tolerant of whatever happens next. Naturally, we anticipate everything going wrong, and it does. At the same time, we get angry, experience greater failure, become more depressed, and feel more discouraged and lethargic. The serpent of sadness has struck, without our being aware of what actually happened. But why is there depression, sadness, and suffering? Our sages teach, whoever mourns Jerusalem will yet share in its rejoicing. Without experiencing sorrow and mourning, there is no way for us to appreciate its opposite. We have nothing with which to compare our happiness. Therefore, we must experience suffering. Only then can we know the true taste of joy. And because some sadness and suffering are necessary, Rabbi Nachman urges us to strive for joy. To strive for joy. We're going to leave off. Only then can we know the true taste of joy, and because some sadness and suffering are necessary, Rabbi Nachman urges us to strive for joy. We have to use all our strength to attain happiness, since only by being happy we will have the necessary faith, courage, and strength to face our sorrows and burdens and overcome them. Reb Nassim once wrote to Reb Ozer of Uman, I heard that you are very, very religious. I heard from Rabbi Nachman that the main thing is joy, and being religious too. How to? With what? You'd think that being told to be happy is superfluous. Who doesn't know this? Is it really necessary to coax, urge, and encourage people to make sure they're happy? It's a natural desire, not one that has to be worked on. So you'd think. Or would you? Rabbi Nachman certainly didn't. True joy is the hardest thing of all, he insisted. You must force yourself to be happy all the time. Be joyous always, and serve God with joy, even if there are times when things look dark and difficult. Strengthen yourselves with the good times gone by. This can be compared to a blind man who once had the power of sight. Although now he can't see at all, he knows there's light. He's witnessed it. Therefore, strengthen yourself with joy, the joy you once knew. If you do, then eventually the good days will return. Elsewhere, Rabbi Nachman teaches that even within a problem, it's possible to find a reason to be happy. Just put yourself outside your situation for a minute or two. You'll realize that with everything crashing down all around you, there are ways in which it could have been even worse. It is easy to be happy when you feel good and things are going smoothly. But what should you do when you do not feel happy, during the times when there's nothing to be joyous about? The Rebbe taught that we should find ways to make ourselves happy. His suggestions include the following. Forcing ourselves. One of the Rebbe's suggestions for achieving happiness when it's not there is forcing yourself to be happy. The importance of joy is so great that every effort must be made. It can be compared to a group of people who are dancing in a circle and pulling others in to join them. They join in the happiness while their depression stands off to the side. However, when the newcomers stop dancing, their depression returns. Though the few minutes of joy are valuable, it would be better to bring the depression itself into the circle of happiness and keep it there. Forcing yourself to be happy will eventually turn the cause of your unhappiness into a real source of joy. Someone asked Reb Nassim how could he become happy when he had so many problems and difficulties. Reb Nassim answered, borrow the happiness. When it comes to money, we rarely hesitate to borrow against a future paycheck, dividend, etc. Well, sadness makes a person feel he's missing something. The thing to do, as Reb Nassim advises, is to borrow from whatever you can think of that makes you happy. Besides, there's a big difference between owing money and owing happiness. When money is paid back, it hurts a bit. However, with happiness, when we pay it back, we again have happiness. Thus, forcing joy and happiness actually pays fantastic dividends. Remembering your good points. Another way you can be joyous when depressed is by acknowledging that you have at least some good within you, even if you feel far from God. Be happy and praise Him that He did not make you a heathen. Simply be happy that you can feel proud and joyous about your heritage, which is not even your own doing, but a gift from God. This is explained in detail in the next chapter. Faking it. Even if you don't feel happy, you can fake it. Pretend to be happy. Who says that if you're feeling down, you can't smile? We fake a smile often enough when trying to be polite. Why not now? Try it. A smile, even a put-on smile, is contagious. Not only will it make others happy when they return your smile, but, as studies have shown, smiling relieves tension and really does make your outlook on life a lot brighter. Just do something silly. In talking about making every effort to be joyous, Rabbi Nachman said that this even included resorting to acting a bit silly. The price one pays for a little silliness is far less than the price of depression and lethargy. Unfortunately, it really doesn't take much for us to act a little silly. Who knows? It might even be a bit of an improvement over many of the serious things we do. Song, music, and dance. Music clears the mind and makes us happy. Music has the power to help us pour our heart out before God. It also has the power to sharpen our memories and enable us to concentrate on our goals. Therefore, the Rebbe taught that it's a very good habit to inspire others with a melody. The spiritual roots of music and song are very deep and can arouse our hearts and raise our spirits. Elsewhere, the Rebbe talks about the special power which dancing and clapping have to make us happy and mitigate the negative things affecting us. It is customary in every Breslov synagogue to dance each day and every morning. Each day after the morning and evening prayers, many Breslover Hasidim dance after learning together, while some even dance daily by themselves. It's a surefire way to arouse a feeling of real joy and happiness. Reb Nachman once said to Reb Moshe Breslover, "I will give you a way to repent. Dance every day." Joy on Shabbat and festivals. Rabbi Nachman once said, "Even the most average Jew feels great joy and happiness when sitting down at his Shabbat table." Reb Nachman once attended the funeral of someone whom he hardly knew. When asked why, he said, "A person should always cry out before God. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, I make the most of it." We must do the same when it comes to happiness. Seize every opportunity. Rabbi Nachman's writings are replete with teachings about being joyous, especially on joyous occasions. He encouraged us to take advantage of Shabbat and the festivals by making an even greater effort to be happy and joyous on these days. Reb Nachman writes, Once when the Rebbe was about to give a lesson about being happy on Shabbat, he asked me, "Are you happy on Shabbat?" "Sometimes I get arousal of fear and awe on Shabbat." I answered. The Rebbe said, "This is not the way. The main thing is joy." He then spoke to me a lot about being happy on Shabbat. Afterwards, the Rebbe understood what I was thinking, and he said to me, "Now you have what to be depressed about." He knew that now that I had to be joyous, I would worry about whether I could do it. How would I get myself to be truly happy on Shabbat? This helped me a lot, for it made me realize that I should at least not become depressed over having to be joyous. When the Rebbe told me to be joyous on Shabbat, I told him, "At least I want to be happy." That is, even if I do not feel true joy, at least I want to feel it. And that is what I'll finish here. And this is a wonderful book. I'm coming to realize that each topic that it teaches about, has wonderful teachings on it. When it was speaking about simplicity in the chapter 1, it taught so many profound concepts on how to attach simplicity to our lives. And now that I'm reading the chapter of joy, I'm learning so many profound ways to bring joy into my life. Wow, it's amazing. I love it, and hope you guys love it too. Buy this Sefer. It's called Crossing the Narrow Bridge. This is a must read for everyone. All right. Laila Tov.